Boy, we're jamming down here this morning, or this afternoon, or whatever time it is. We're live! Facebook Live! How's everybody doing? Whatever you guys are doing out there in internet land. I don't even know what time it is. Should be off work by now. It's about 6 o'clock. We're on session 3 now. We're going to cover the cluckage, or the honkage. Yesterday was the cluckage. Today is the honk. The honkity honk honk. Oh yeah, check out my new threads. In case you're watching, Bill from Dakota Decoy. Thanks for my new shirts. Looks nice. Feel good. Real good. Thanks for my new threads. So, I'm trying to pop something up here for you guys. We're going to play a little audio. Da 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 da. You know, I was out at Walmart a little bit ago, and you know, people just don't have patience. I'm not gonna lie. The lines were long, right? Of course they are. I mean, that's Walmart, especially during the day. All the older folks are there, and it's just the way it is. But man, people were in line. They were just bitching and complaining. I'm like, hey, it's okay. You're gonna get your food. You're gonna get your stuff. Just relax. It's really not that bad. People kill me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the best with patience, but it was a perfect opportunity for a man like me to work on my patience. While I did that, I spread a little love and talked some patience with some other folks that were in line that didn't have any patience. So, anywho, I just figured I'd share that with you guys. Every day we're alive is a gift. Whether you guys want to believe that or not, it's the truth, homie. Every day is a gift. I've got friends that are dealing with cancer and family problems and all sorts of stuff, and we're all pretty fortunate to be alive. So, alright, I think that's okay. It's not bad. Looking at my camera a little bit, I could probably come down a little. So today we're going to cover the cluck, or the honk. It's been a long day. We're going to cover the honk. The honk is really not anything too crazy. The honk is an elongated version of the cluck. Yesterday we went over the cluck, and that's the base of every note, in my opinion, of a goose's vocabulary, except a moan. But I mean, it's for anything it's important for killing geese. Cluck is everything, and a cluck's gonna kill all the geese you want to kill. But the honk is just an elongated version of the cluck. The beginning of the note's a little longer. The second part of the note's a little longer. So I'm going to play a little audio of the cluck, of the honk. I can't even talk. I don't know what day it is. Let's see. And the honk is just as... Hopefully that speaker's on. The honk is like the cluck, and that it can be done fast, slow, high-pitched, low-pitched, loud, quiet. I mean, so each note you guys learn how to do on a short-reed goose call, you got to remember that there's several different variations of that note you can do to make you sound different and stand out. Or if you're buddy calling with another guy, or if you're just by yourself, later on working, two different notes, or a cluck and a cluck, but one high, one low. So, I mean, if you can do clucks and master them clucks, you're going to be a lot better off. So, real quick here, let's just go over from the beginning real quick, because tonight's going to be a little shorter. So, it's going to be a honk. It's not going to be a lot of in-depth of anything. So, first thing, day one, we started with getting the buzz. So, here's the buzz. Okay, so your tongue starts flat, your tongue's like this, air's coming over the top of it, and you slowly start pushing that tongue forward till you get that buzz. Once you get that buzz, you know your tongue is in the right place, or really close to it, and your air cavity is getting there. Okay, so we got the buzz the first day. Of course, holding on to the calls. You guys can go back and watch those other videos if you need to. How to hold on to the call, lip placement, make sure it's a good seal, all that. Once we get the buzz, we push a little more air and close our tongue off and stop that air. It's going to make the reed snap. And what makes it sharp is your tongue hitting your soft palate, stop in the air, right? Ah, 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 ah. So basically, that's what we're up to. Buzz and then a cluck. And the more you do that, muscle memory get kicking in. You gotta do it the same every time. Keep practicing on those. If you guys haven't got that far yet, and you're still trying to get that sharp cluck, don't watch this yet. Stay at session 2. Take your time with it. Get it correct. Get it sharp. And get it consistent every time you pick the call up. So here is a quick sound file of the honk. Maybe. If it works here. I got a couple different ones. Minus the crickets. So it's a high-pitch cluck, or high-pitch honk and a low-pitch honk. All right. You know, and there's really not a big difference between a cluck and a honk. It's just a little bit longer, elongated version of a cluck. I'm trying to load another one for you here, and it's been argued several different ways of when the goose does it, how a goose does it, what have you. I mean, there is a ton of different ways geese do it, different attitudes they might have. If it's a high-headed goose, a century goose, and he's honking loud and aggressive, that's, in my opinion, that's usually a male, an aggressive male, saying, here's my stuff, take a step back, this is where I am, keep off my shizzle. Sometimes if it's a lower head honker, and they'll still honk, but maybe their heads aren't straight up. If it's a lower head honker, it can show a relaxed state as well. So when do I use this hunting? I mix it in with clucks, and it's a great finisher for Canada geese because most of the time it shows dominance. When you hear geese do it, when other geese are coming in, it's usually one goose at the edge, or usually on the edge, sometimes right in the pocket. One goose will turn and he'll stand up. It's usually the male. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't stick my finger up their butt. I can't run out there and check if it's a male or female. But it's usually a bigger Canada goose, a high head, and he's just standing there, very proud, aggressive, and he's... So, to imitate that sound, to match that same sound, everything is the same as it was in the cluck. Your tongue position's the same. You're just letting more air come through first, and then after the reed breaks, you're letting a little more air come as well, and then you stop it. So your tongue's here, it starts coming up, and you see when it stops, that's my tongue touching the top of my mouth. So it's going to be sloppy right now. Okay, so you're letting the air come over. The tongue's not moving. I mean, all it's doing is just going from the soft palate down and back up to cut off the air. Same thing with the cluck or with any other note. Tip your tongue stays down. Right here's tip your tongue. Mine sits behind my bottom teeth. And again, with this note, my tongue kind of has a little bit of a curve to it as well. It just kind of, it's an air pocket. An air cavity is what I call it. It kind of sits right here. This is the control for all the notes and for the air going in there. I don't know if your guys' tongue will cup in like mine does a little bit, or if it's going to stay more flat. I really don't know how everybody's tongue is. It might be different for everybody. But into the call, it kind of looks like this, if you can tell on the phone or not. You can see the air cavity right here. That's where my sound's coming from. Getting that buzz. What makes it buzzy is your tongue is pushed forward and you got a lot of pressure on that reed. It's not a lot of air, it's just a certain amount of pressure. So to make it honk, you just close your tongue up. Ah, ah, ah. It's hard to do it with my fingers, trying to illustrate my tongue in my mouth, but your tongue's going from about position 2 to 3 right here. So it's going ah, 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 okay, so that is the dirty version of a honk. Once you get that sharp, you can, just like a cluck, if you can pick it up every time, then you can move on and bring your hand down, start getting a little goosier with it. Both of those are honks. One's a little higher, one's a little lower. Let me grab a different call. Try a half blood, see if it's a little better. And I'm kind of elongating a little bit more, exaggerating it so you guys understand. There's really not a big difference. There's not a big difference between a cluck and a honk. A cluck is going to be shorter, snappier usually. A honk is what a goose is known for. It's a honker. And this is just an elongated version of the cluck. It's basically the same note, just a little bit longer. So get that, and then you can get goosey with it. Later on I'll talk about how to add it in. But again, here's the honk. A honk has always been thought of as kind of the greeting call. You see geese way out there. You know, it kind of comes back from contest calling, because when you start a contest routine, I mean, your contest, your beginning notes, okay, that's a honk. It's a contest honk. But, you know, when I goose hunt, I don't do that. If I see the geese way out there, at that point, when the geese are far out, you're trying to do anything you can just to get their attention. And if that's what you can do good and sharp, then do that. But you can get the same effect with a cluck. A fast, sharp, aggressive cluck is going to get a goose's attention and pierce their ear better than an elongated honk. So the idea of a honk being a greeting call or something when the birds are way out there, man, I really don't think so. I kind of have a general rule of thumb. If a bird is past, I'm not good with yardage, but if they're past a certain point, say 300 yards, if they're past that, I don't really care how sharp or precise or everything is. At that point, we're just trying to get their attention. We're trying to just sound like birds on the ground so they can look, see our decoys, see some flagging, see movement. Once they start coming close and they hit that 300 mark, 250 yard mark, that's when everything turns real important on a call. That's when it's time to be goosey. That's when it's time to have the right pitch. That's when it's time to use your head a little bit. And if you guys seen some of our hunts on YouTube, like when we're running traffic, I mean, it's crazy. There's anything we can do. If somebody's good at clucking, they're going to cluck real loud. Somebody's good at doing long, big honks, whatever. We're trying to get the bird's attention from a long ways out. So just using the honk as a greeting note, I mean, it works. It's fine, but it's, you know, it's not going to help you that much. I think a great place to use a honk, if you wanted to use a honk, mixing it up with clucks, and we're going to get into that later, or as an actual finishing note. Be that one goose, be that dominant goose, that big gander that's in the pocket or on the edge, going, rah, rah. You know, this is my group here. It's my food, my area, whatever you think they're saying. You know, be that goose. A lot of times I'll finish geese with a straight up honk. Kill them. So, again, it's going to come down to how much you call, when they call, and we're going to get into that later. But a lot of the times, once the birds get within a certain range again, we hunt mainly out of A-frames, so I can't call the last, I try not to, it depends on the wind, depends on a lot of stuff, but the last 5 to 10 seconds before I call a shot, usually I'm not calling, I'm letting the birds finish into the decoys, because if not, they're looking back at us and the A-frames to the side. So, I mean, it's a big difference when you're calling real geese, how you're hunting, if you're in layup blinds or in A-frames. We're going to cover all that later. So, again, that's the honk. So to go, you know, to go from a high honk to a low honk, it's like the cluck. It's more air, and you got to move your hands out of the way a little bit. For example, okay, I'm not moving them a ton, but I'm also pushing a little bit more air. But at the same time, my tongue is doing the same thing every time. It's just more air, less air, and open your hand up a little. Same thing. The hand on this note is important because it's gonna help you control the note a little bit, and it's gonna give it more goosey sound. You can still do a honk with no hands at all. You can still go high and low. You just can't tell how big of a difference without your hand there. So, I forgot where I was going with that. Doesn't matter. But anyway, so that's it. It's, you know, it's the same thing. As I talk about in other notes, is we're going to cover it later on as well, but the goose rhythm, okay? Once you get the sloppy honk, maybe it'll be easier for you to get the honk first than it is to do the cluck first. I don't know, everybody's a little different, so maybe you want to get the honk first, which is very similar to the cluck, mouth cavity, everything's the same, like I've told you. But you can be a little sloppier with it, and you can let it roll over a little longer. So once you get the cluck, or the honk, then you got to get back to the goose rhythm. Now, a big Canada Goose, or whoever's doing the honk, isn't going to sit there and just sound real sloppy. It's going to have goose rhythm. So start trying to sound like a goose by getting things at the right tempo, the right tone, before you move on to anything else. So again, that is the honk. I'm going to turn the phone around now, see if we have any questions. Very, very simple stuff on that one. It's not one of those crazy notes, but it might be a note that is easier for you to learn on than the cluck, and if it is, watch, learn from this one. Watch this one instead. Maybe this. I don't know. Everybody's different. I'm going to turn the phone around here, see what's shaking. I'm going to try anyway, see if I can. Oop, I just messed it up already. There I am. There I is. How's everybody doing out there? Oh, what's up, Glenn? I'm going to scroll up here. Sadler McGraw, the old turkey guy's watching. How's it going, Sadler? Big Sean, you are 100 million right. Every day is absolutely, buddy. We're all real lucky to be here. I will tell you that. So, there's not a lot of people watching tonight. Last night we had over 100 viewers. Tonight's only 36 right now. We're going to go live again at 8. Brennan's going to join me later on at 8. So if you guys are watching this, you can hop back on and join us again at 8 o'clock. And that's when it's no holds barred. I mean, you can ask whatever kind of questions you want, and whether it's calling questions about hunting or whatever, and we can try to help you. We can shoot the bull back and forth, whatever. That's going to be our original live session, still every Wednesday at about 8 o'clock Central Time. So tonight, the honk. One more time, I'm going to play audio of the honk so you guys understand. Single honks, no. Ignore the crickets. So that's 2 geese. That's 1 goose doing the higher one, more powerful, and another goose a little slower and lower. 2 geese doing the honks. And that there, they're sitting on a pond and they're very relaxed. They're not going crazy. There's no other birds coming in. They're just saying, here's my spot. Here's where I am. Me and Shaniko over here sitting on this clump of grass. We're here. Leave us alone. Okay, it's really pretty simple. Stop eating a rich people. Uh-oh, we got French going back and forth on here. It's going to get ugly. I can't understand what you guys are saying half the time. Supper time. I don't even know what time people eat supper anymore. That's the cool thing. If you guys are missing this right now and it's not live no more on Facebook, every night I download them onto our YouTube channel, and you can watch them just as everybody else did. So it's pretty easy. Not a bad deal. You won't miss too much. Tomorrow we're going to go over the moan. Okay? So tomorrow's going to be something else. Real quick. Huh? Okay. So I'm going to go. Somebody was just asking me. Here's a couple other calls I'm going to do the honk on. Here's a hedge big kahuna with gray guts doing the honk. Here's an acrylic Mr. Big. Something you haven't heard yet. It's going to be loud, more powerful, high pitch. So there's on a couple of different calls. All right, real quick before I shut her down here, we're going to do a quick run, start from scratch. Where's my calls? All right. Turn this so you can kind of see this a little bit better. Now the wording's going to be backwards for a little bit again, but you get the point. So tongue is anchored, tongue's anchored right here behind your teeth. It's kind of arched up like my hand right here. Pretend, well, my hand's a pretty big tongue, but our illustration's bigger. So the air is going to come over, get that buzz sound. That's what it looks like right there. See how these lines go up? That's how the tongue moves. It'll come forward and up. All right? So tip stays down and up. So the call is going to have the buzz. Here's the roof of my mouth right here. I'm not very good at showing you. I need 5 hands. And that's even a lower honk. That's, you know, cupping it down and blowing into your hand. And then the cluck that we covered yesterday is the same exact note, but shortened. It's quicker, more of a pop of air. Rod, can you blow a honk with your nose? This could get ugly, I don't know. Yeah, it's a sloppy honk, though. It's a dirty honk. Yep, I might get a booger in there, but I got her. This for you, Rod. This for you. Now my nose itches. But, yeah, see, it's that easy. You can blow it with your nose. You can do a honk. Maybe. I can even get a buzz with my nose. It's because it's pressure. Oh my God, that tickles so bad. But just so you guys understand, it's not your voice that makes the buzz. You can do it with your nose. I wouldn't recommend it unless it's your buddy's call. Then I'd do it for fun. But get that buzz. You don't have to have the voice to get the buzz. It's just pressure. It's just condensing that air in a tight spot, creating that buzz. And later on, you can add your voice into it, which is going to give it more of a goosier sound. Yeah, it's really not back pressure. A lot of people talk about back pressure, and you can put back pressure at the end of the call to get lower notes or to sound more goosey or to play around with it. But to actually make a short reed break and make the notes, it doesn't take back pressure, or it shouldn't if the call's tuned correctly and everything's set easy. All the calls we make here at BSCC, they're easy to blow. And I mean, that's with our red, white, and blue guts. These are guts that are broke in after like 15, 16 years of hunting with them. They're very broke in. They got huge grooves in them. Normally, that'd be a hard set of guts to operate, but the way I tune them, and I put, super, super thin-shaved reed in there, man, it sounds like a goose, and you can operate them real easy. Don't take a lot of air to make that reed go up and down. So, any questions on the honk? Everybody's probably just going to like this one because I honked out of my nose. We're going to be back in a little while, about 8 o'clock Central Time, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm going to get this downloaded to the YouTube channel, and yeah. So that was the honk. Pretty simple. Not much to it, but get it clean. Just like I told you guys yesterday with the cluck. Make sure you can pick that call up every time, do it the same way, and eventually just get it clean. You know, if you pick the call up off the table and you go, and you're not doing it right, start from scratch. Don't keep practicing wrong or trying to go too fast. You're not getting it. Start from scratch. You want to be able to pick it up every time. Stay consistent. Yeah, same thing with the buzz. Day 1, week 1, whatever it is. Pick the call up. See that little cup in my tongue? That's getting that buzz sound. And then you can start bringing your voice in. That's That's going to give you the base for everything and the starting point for all the rest of the notes. Okay? Every time, pick it up. Get the buzz. And then maybe the next week, every time you pick it up, you want this. That's your cluck. Your high cluck, low cluck. More air, less air. More air, less air. Tongue stays the same. Okay, and then a honk, just elongated version of the cluck. Okay, that's the honk. Tomorrow we're going to move on to the moan. Now, the moan, there's a little bit more to talk about. It's a little bit more complex note. It's different than the honk and the cluck. Tongue positioning, everything's different. So, real quick before we go, let's see. Thanks for your time. You're welcome, Carl. You think I've had a couple people say that I teach good, but I've never done it because I don't think I'm a good teacher. I've always had a problem teaching people, like at shows or whatever. They just ask me, and I'm like, I don't know, just do it. Like it's hard for me to explain. So that's why I'm trying to take my time with this, make sure I can do the best I can to explain to you guys how it works. Because, I mean, everybody learns different, everybody teaches different too. So, one more time here. Here's a close-up of the of my little cool drawing I got here. But here, you know, your natural position for your tongue is going to be cupped up. Here's the bottom, right? Here's my little loop-de-loop here. That's the tip. The tip's going to stay down here. The air comes up from your diaphragm, all the way up, over the top of your tongue, and here's your soft palate. Here's your little dangly thing in the back of your throat, called the uvula. I found that on Google. And it's up like this, right? So at this point, when a tongue's like this, the colored version, you're just getting straight air. Honk, okay? Just like this. Once your tongue starts going from position 1 to 2, that's when you're starting, and then up to 3, that's where you're starting to get the buzz sound. Because you're closing this gap in, you're making this air cavity between here and the call smaller. This is your air cavity. This is the most important part right here. So you're getting up there, you're making that air cavity smaller, then it goes from sounding like this. Then you're up to about 3, okay? But you still have a gap up here where the air is coming over the top of your tongue. Now, only difference is to make it cluck, your tongue touches the roof of your mouth. You close off the air, and you push a little more air at the end. It breaks, and then the air stops because your tongue is hitting your soft palate. That's going like 2 to 3 to 4. Not 4, 2 to 3. So that's the rendition. And again, make sure your lips are sealed tight. You don't want no air escaping that. None of the above. All right, I'm going to get off here. If you guys don't follow us on Instagram, follow us right there. Big Sean's Championship Calls. If you are on Snap Chisel, the OG Big Sean Biggie 822, follow us on there. YouTube channel, just search Big Sean. Of course, you're already on Facebook right now. Little word of advice for you guys. Serenity prayer. If you're having any problems in life, read this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Ain't that the truth? We all got problems, and we all got to take control of our own lives, but there's some things we just can't control. And we got to give our faith to God and let that be in somebody else's hands, because we struggle every day. And until you have faith in God or a higher power of some sort, life's going to be tough. And life's tough even with God. I don't know how I'd do what I do without any faith at all. I would be a total mess. So anyway, that's my little insight for you guys today. Hope everybody has a great night. Hope this helps. And we'll see you back again tomorrow for session 4, the moan. Peace with chicken grease.